It's another beautiful day, and we are just glad to be with you today. As viewers, we welcome you to another enlightening episode here on Bonds, the Family Life Show, where we unpack real life issues through the lens of faith and truth. Today's episode is titled Before I Say I Do, Courtship Crisis. Remember, last week we talked about Before I Say I Do, but then we were looking at the role of the church. We've been on this journey for a while already. We've looked at the role of parents. We've looked at the role of the church. Today we're talking about courtship crisis, Before I Say I Do. Now we will be diving into the emotional and spiritual struggles that often surface during courtship. Why do so many promising relationships fail before they even start, sometimes before the altar? What are couples missing? And how can we realign courtship with God's design for love, purpose, and marriage? My name is Mawutor Seade. Now follow us on all of our social media platforms at AGTV. Comment, like, subscribe, and share with other people. As always, we start off with our scripture. Today's scripture is from Proverbs 19, verse 21. And it says, "Many are the plans in a person's heart, but it is the Lord's purpose that prevails." If you would like to sponsor or send us a message, you can call or WhatsApp with the number on your screen. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back shortly.
Hey there! You're watching Bonds, Family Life Show. A family that sticks together will always be stronger through the stormy weather. I have you and you have me, and that's what makes us family. It's the Family Life Show. 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 You're watching Bonds, the Family Life Show.
Welcome back. As I already mentioned, today we are talking about courtship crisis in our attempt to continue the series on Before I Say I Do. As we all know, family seems to be the one thing that almost every individual, desires to have. And courtship, marriage, family, they all are in the same category, right? So we've been talking about, Before I Say I Do, the role of parents, the role of the church. Today we are on courtship crisis. We'll understand it in a bit. Just relax, take and stay. Call somebody to join in the conversation. As I said earlier, you could sponsor the show and other shows here on AGTV. So do join Club 1000 Plus today. AGTV Club 1000 Plus is a fundraising initiative by the Assemblies of God Ghana Television to secure monthly donations from 1,000 plus individuals, churches, and organizations. Now, how can you donate? Contribute 100 cedis monthly or any amount God lays on your heart via the AGTV mobile money number 055-6789-324. You can also contact us with the information on your screen. Always remember, your support keeps the gospel shining in every home. Now, as you can see on the set today, I have familiar faces. Our guests are seated and ready to delve into the matter of the day. With me is Reverend Reginald Akwamwa, a minister relationship counselor and the founder of the Marriage Factory. Reverend, you are always welcome on the show. You've been with us as we started this series. I'm glad you made it here today as well.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. And to help him have the conversation today is Reverend Mrs. Regina Kote, the head pastor of Grace Sanctuary Assemblies of God at Dringano. She has been married for 38 years. Oh, mommy, congratulations. When I saw that, I was like, oh my God, I tap into that grace. And she's blessed with one biological child whom she had to wait for 19 years before the Lord blessed her with them. Besides that, you have many other children. Once again, I say congratulations and thank you for making it here today.
Thank you for having me.
So people, as you can see, we are well set to talk about this issue. The people seated here have all the filler that you need. So you want to relax, take a pen and a notebook and get ready. Let's start learning something. So as always, we'll start off with what is courtship crisis. I'm sure that those who are watching and listening are wondering, courtship, we know, courtship crisis. What are we talking about? Rev, let me start with you, Reverend Akwamwa. What, in your view, what is courtship crisis?
Courtship is basically getting to a place in your relationship where you have come to understand that this person that I have seen and I've known, I've studied, known, and understood. Now we can get into a place where we can finally say that we want to get married. So that period,
all right,
that is what maybe basically we can say
it's courtship. Okay.
Now when we come to courtship crisis, I want to put it this way. The challenges that we go through during courtship, which either make or mar our marriages in future, depending on how we handle them.
Right.
That is, I think, basically that is what we can call courtship.
Okay,
crisis.
the challenges that we face during that period, how we handle them, either they make or mar the future marriage that we are looking for. Wow, thank you so much. Mrs.
Yes, darling.
I'm with you now.
Okay.
Let me hear your thoughts on what courtship crisis may be referring to.
I think, and per observation, I have seen that even the beginning of courtship, when it's faulty, the relationship will be faulty.
Okay.
Sometimes the way we propose even to the one we want to court with or we want to marry, we go spiritual. I went into prayer 21 days.
And the Lord revealed it to me.
And the Lord revealed it. I was in a trance during the prayer.
Ish.
And I heard Gladys.
3 times.
3 times. And so you see already, you have tied Gladys with spirituality. So
Then
Gladys is not thinking, yes,
it is the will of God.
Good. So if it is the will of God, I don't need to think, I don't need to plan, I don't need to. So I'm just expecting angelic visitations. And so with that expectations, as we move on, and she gets to know the human weaknesses, the things she didn't expect.
Right.
Then the crisis starts.
Okay.
Sometimes people are not even able to verbalize it. They are disappointed within. And so everything the other person says is annoying. And so it becomes a crisis. And sometimes during even the courtship, the expectation of the lady is different from the expectation of the guy. And so how can two work together except they agree? So there will be crisis. And so the moment these shake-ups come, the ripple effect is what we see, disappointments, and sometimes people even leaving the church because of all these
and
things.
the heartbreak, the sorrow, sometimes the depression that comes with
I have an example that came to me.
Okay.
The gentleman was in a relationship already. The gentleman was courting already. But there was this guest speaker who was invited into the church to raise funds. And during the fundraising, let's say, for example, he wanted 1,000 Ghana. And then at a point, he said, if we can get 2 people giving 500. So this lady came and the gentleman came. And then the guest speaker said, God has told him that the 2 of them will marry in future.
My God.
Immediately, they started.
Oh,
with the other one still
in
there.
The picture.
So the guy found himself dating or courting 2 people.
Ladies.
So when they came, I had to tell him to choose one. And the lady knew the guy was in a relationship, but just that
because the man of God said this.
And this man of God had left the church now. He just came for 1 week, maybe revival.
Then they leave it for you, the residents, pastors, and reverends to deal with it.
And so the crisis itself will tell you that when the premise is wrong,
Definitely.
The
During the courtship, those challenges will really are ugly.
That is what this brings this courtship, misunderstandings.
Okay.
Yes.
Reverend Kote, I'm going to stay with you for just one more, thing. You mentioned dating or courtship.
Yes.
So I wanted just a bit of a clarification on that. Is it the same thing? Is dating courtship or there's a difference? And if there is, maybe we should talk a little about what the difference is maybe.
The first time I was invited in a school, a university, to give a talk on dating.
Okay.
I didn't understand it myself because during the 80s, we were never using the word dating.
Right.
We were using courtship.
Okay.
So I threw the question to the group of people, what is dating? And we all had a shock of our lives, including the students.
Wow.
Because what some were saying was dating. Mostly the guys were thinking that it's a time of going out with a special lady you love, and that could lead to intimacy. The ladies were thinking that it was a promise
for marriage.
So you see where the problem was.
From the beginning, there's a disagreement.
So I just started the talk from there. That even among ourselves now, we are confused.
We don't know what we are doing.
So we need to define what is dating, what is courtship.
Right.
But dating can be
courtship,
depending on the people talking, their age group and other things.
Okay.
But I've realized that these modern people, this modern youth, do not even talk about courtship at all. They call all dating. And so the dating per the social media definition.
Right.
Is that I can courtship. Yes, I can kiss you, I can hold you, I can
be intimate with you.
That is per social media. And since we have chosen to use that name, then it looks like we are going the social media way. So courtship seems to be
accepted these days.
So dating seems to be opened for everything that
anything
can happen. But courtship is limited with the focus that we want to get married.
Okay.
And so if we are believers, we are going through the principles, the laid down principles that we know in the Bible for courtship. In that case, there should be boundaries.
Okay.
Because we know we can't do everything.
Right. We'll come to those boundaries in a bit. But Reverend Akwanwa, let's talk a little bit more about what Mrs. Kote was saying in relation to dating being a little more open. From what I get, it sounds more socialistic, as in this is what the youth of today are doing and thinking. What's your take on that?
When we take our time and look at those two words, now when we talk about dating is more or less a general friendship stage.
Okay.
Where nothing is defined.
Okay.
So there's a program, let's say Joe Metal is in Assemblies of God here.
I'm taking you there.
It's
a date.
It's a date.
Okay.
And then the next time another music person is in Mama's church, I call another lady, I call Anne, I'm taking you there. It's not defined. There's nothing tying us together.
Okay.
A dating period must not be a time of intimacy. No.
And promises.
Yeah, promises and all those kind of things. It is not defined.
Okay.
But you see, what makes it challenging, especially on the side of the women, is that in the period of dating, most women assume a lot. So especially if I keep going on a date with one particular lady, she assumes that we are already in a relationship.
Okay.
No, but here's the case. I have not proposed to you. And it may not be my mind. I just like being around you.
Your company.
You understand? So, like we said from the beginning, you can date this one, but
I was
going
to specifically ask if you can date more than one person.
You can date more than one person.
Okay.
No, but there's need for a lot of discipline.
Because an explanation on that topic.
Yes. There's need for a lot of discipline. You don't just assume that because this person asked you out,
maybe just once,
in a relationship. So that's when doing talking with singles, I tell them, until a guy proposes to you, don't assume anything. And if a particular guy seems to be circling around you for a period, you should be bold enough to ask, my friend, what are you looking for?
Okay. Okay.
You know,
so force the guy to say something.
Say something, you know. So if the person just comes and says, "Oh, I just want you as a friend," then you should advise yourself.
Start thinking of
Start
something
thinking
else.
of something else, because what it also means is that the person who is actually interested in you
is probably also watching the guy who is
also
around
watching it. So
you.
he has also assumed that, oh, they have seen them 1, 2, 3. You know. So he also assumes that they are in a relationship, so he is lost.
There's a lot of assumption.
But when it comes to courtship, it is defined.
Okay.
And in courtship period does not also mean that you engage in intimacy.
Okay.
That is where the biblical aspect comes in. Courtship period talks of a lot of vision building. It talks of a lot of character development. It talks of a lot of knowledge build-up, capacity building, and all those kind of things.
When it comes to the two of you
when
who
it comes
are intending to
when
get
you-
married.
as long as you have gone to that stage, one of the things you must try as much as possible to block is intimacy.
Right. So that's one is made quite clear. So if I understand the two of you, once there is the word courtship or the assumption that this relationship we've entered into the stage of courtship, it means we have one intention only, which is to get married.
Yes.
So then comes my question: should all courtship or must all courtships end in marriage? If yes or no, why? Reverend
You
Kote.
see, I still have a challenge with dating and courtship.
Okay.
The young ladies and the young guys today, they don't
even
use
courtship.
the word
For them, they still
courtship.
use dating.
Dating.
To mean courtship.
So 7 years we are dating.
Ah.
So possibly if we are not careful, we the elderly people will
We
be
need-
saying
we will
something that is
misunderstand.
not
Yeah,
yes.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, so maybe for purposes of this discussion, we
Yes.
can say both can be used
Yes,
synonymously.
interchangeable. Yes. Otherwise, you would say, I told you, didn't you listen to the program? I told you we are dating. And so I never, you see. But today, in our time now, Indomie babies now, they do not know the name
Courtship.
courtship.
But you
Okay.
see, but there's a risk there.
But
You understand? You see, the fact that that is what they have decided to do
Shouldn't mean that is
mean
what it is.
Because every issue of courtship must begin with proposal. If
Yeah.
I'm a lady and you have not proposed, when you come to me, in fact, a pastor came to me one time for counseling, and I said, I asked the lady, "Did you propose to you?" I said, "Man of God, we can't continue this unless you propose to her." He had to go and propose to her. And when they came, it was the lady who was now talking about that. I said, "Pastor, he did it very well."
Okay.
Before we continued the counseling.
Wow.
You know, because this assumption has created a lot of issues.
And a lot of
I know
heartbreaks,
some people who have married for long, and the man keeps saying, when did I propose to you?" You understand? And it is leading a lot of people into that error. Thinking that, oh, we close from church, and then he goes with her, then do this. Then, just like she gave that example, one pastor will come and say, "Oh, but you people cry, you should marry." Then he said, "Okay, now that they've said we should marry, what do you think? What do you think?" And then they get married, and there has not been any foundation of proposal.
Wow.
You know,
so in your opinion, there must be that verbal declaration.
There must be that verbal
Will you marry me?
Will you marry me?
And if the other person says yes, that's
then-
when courtship
That's
begins.
when courtship begins. you
That's
know.
when
But we
courtship
should remove that issue of assumption.
Okay.
You know.
Yes.
Point
what I'm
made.
saying is that, you see, in every society, there is what this meant then and what it means now.
I get you too.
There will be proposal, but they will never use the name courtship. They are still dating.
So I
Before
guess,
somebody dates,
yeah,
yes, with someone today in this modern,
there's probably already a proposal.
There's a proposal.
Yeah.
Why did they even go to a counselor? If why will you? Let's go and see counselor. Then you went on what basis? There is no proposal. You don't have any intentions. What is it?
Yeah.
I hope you are getting
I
it.
get
So
you.
in this modern Indomie time, dating is not what we think it is.
Yeah.
So it has entered the Christian realm. That is where we are in trouble now. The worldly people see dating like this, and we have gone for the word dating,
And we are using
and we are using it in the church.
right.
I hope you are getting
They're
it.
using it.
Yes. So we need to define this,
Yeah.
and whatever we do, we should listen to the youth too.
Right.
This is their time. Our time has passed.
Yeah.
They say one day somebody said what? I have a crush.
That's a very common
In our
word now.
time,
There was nothing
There
like
was
that.
if I then I've crashed with you.
If you crash, you die.
And putting like this. So what it meant then It's
Means
not the
something
same
different.
thing. Yes, now. So if we, the elderly people, want to really meet them at the point of their needs, then we should understand these terms and use them, and then
Quite accurately, point has been made. So I think that maybe we can agree on the fact that once there's been a proposal of marriage and an acceptance of it, whether you call it dating or courtship, that's really what we are talking about within the spirit. You don't want to go anywhere. As you can see, it's already getting very interesting. Stay tuned.
It's the Family Life Show. You're watching Bonds, the Family Life Show.
For every moment you need to be inspired.
You cannot be prayerfully alive, and Satan will get you easy.
Vision without action is an omission.
Raise your head high, for AGTV is here.
It's the Family Life Show. This is Bonds, the Family Life Show.
Welcome back from that break. This is Bonds, the Family Life Show here on AGTV. My name is Mawutor Seade. I have two beautiful and handsome reverends here with me, Mrs. Kote and Mr. Reverend Akwamwa. We are talking about courtship crisis, right? And we've been able to establish the fact that whether you call it dating or courtship, once there's been a marriage proposal and an acceptance of such, then that's what we are talking about. Okay, for purposes of the show, we may be using courtship, but we mean once there's a marriage proposal and an acceptance of it. So whatever you call it, we are talking to you. Now, before the break, I had asked a question: must all courtships or all relationships end in marriage? Your answer is very important. Whether yes or no, we need to explain, whatever we choose. Reverend Akwamwa.
All courtship must not end
in marriage necessarily.
Necessarily end in marriage. Why would I say so? We are in courtship and the guy is beating you. We are in courtship and the girl has so disrespected you, done all manner of things, including stealing your money and all those kind of things. It is foolishness to want to say that, oh no, when we marry, she will change. So let's go inside.
Okay.
And you see, the courtship period is capacity building period.
Okay.
That's when you say that
earlier.
I like this thing, I don't like this one.
Yes. Right.
I prefer this one, I don't prefer that one.
Right.
Some people even in courtship period will say that I've taken my time and looked at people from Oti region, I don't like them. I have tried to at least go along, but I realized that no, it is not.
There is something putting me off.
Why would you want to force yourself?
Right.
Right. During courtship period, you come to find out certain things that you know that these things you cannot handle them. You cannot deal with them. Maybe you don't even like a man that eats noisily. You have tried to help and all those kind of things.
It's not working.
It's not working. That is for you as a person.
Right.
You understand? And maybe you have even spoken about it. And so as for our house there, that is how
we eat.
And you know that, you see, it may look
trivial. Yeah.
But you'll be surprised.
Yeah.
Yes.
It can really even break marriages. I know.
Break marriage. So whatever thing you don't like during courtship, don't assume it will change in marriage.
Right.
In fact, I believe that the things about courtship that we don't like, when we encourage them into marriage, they become bigger.
Magnified.
They magnified. So even if, let's say, he beats you in courtship, he becomes a better wife beater in marriage. You see, and because at that point in time, during courtship, as a man, he knows that
you can live.
You can live. Number two, he's responsible to somebody. Maybe your senior brothers and all those kind of things.
Right,
even when he's beating you with style. But by the time you get to his home, that he wants to beat you, now he can beat you with confidence
because
and lock the door.
He's only answerable to himself.
He's himself.
Right.
And all those kind of things.
Right.
So anything you see, we need to also get to a place to know that as long as the fact that we are in courtship does not mean it is final.
Okay.
No, we need to get to that notion.
Out of our minds. Yeah. Out of our minds. Reverend Kote, I see you nodding and nodding. I see that you're agreeing.
Yes.
And almost without knowing it, he's brought in the red flags, some of the red flags that we cannot ignore. So in your submission, I would want you to touch on that as well for me.
Courtship is not do or die. Marriage is not do or die. As if, by all means,
it must happen.
2025 in August. it must happen. So if
Whether
I don't
rain
go,
or thunder.
if I don't go with this person, even though I've seen the red flags, I still want to go. There are a lot of red flags that when you see, you should move out.
You should run.
There was this case of, they said they were going to buy the rings. And the lady said, oh, this one would be nice. I would like this one. Even though it was not the most costly one there.
Okay.
I am the man. And what I choose is what you wear.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. And they went to buy another thing. It was the same thing. They came home and the lady went to their father and said, I can't come.
I won't do this.
Because even if this time that you want to even satisfy me, you are able to do this, no.
I was going to say, because usually it's within this period,
Yes.
dating, courtship, that we are the nicest to
This
our
is-
significant others.
This is the red flag. Unfortunately for us, the people we have today, the youth, they hide or they do things in secrecy before they even let their pastor know, their parents get to know. They've gone far. Some have chosen their wedding dresses.
Yeah.
Some have chosen their bridesmaids and things. So it doesn't matter the red flag. They will surely, so I'll marry.
Oh my
So
God.
you see, so as for the red flags, courtship is the time you should look for. And in fact, there can be two good people. The fact that you can't marry again doesn't mean one is bad. No. There can
Okay.
be two good people but cannot
Work
marry.
together.
Yes.
Right.
And so, honorably, they separate. And it's better than to enter into the marriage, struggle with the marriage at a point you say, I can't anymore and break it.
Which is rather
embarrassing
worse.
everybody.
Which
And
is rather
sometimes
worse.
it makes you think that, will I make it to heaven? Or is it God's approval? Which, if you had separated during courtship, it would have been
Wouldn't
fine.
have
So
happened.
no, and not every courtship or
relationship
dating or relationship
must
end
in marriage.
No.
A broken relationship
It's
is
better
still better
than
a broken marriage.
It's just
So
that the way we break, we should also look at it.
we should be careful
Yes.
about that. So let's talk a little now about the red flags. Specifically, let's mention some of them. I've got one already.
Yeah.
Anybody who physically abuses you
Yes,
during a
yes.
relationship or courtship, definitely a red flag that you should turn the other way and start running in the opposite direction.
Yeah.
Any other ones? Let's add
Anyone
some
who is
more.
controlling you
Okay.
without giving you allowance.
No breathing
to
space.
Yes, it's serious because he's putting you in a box. How long can you remain in that box? Anyone who says that I want to have sex with you
Before we marry.
if you don't agree, I'm not marrying you. That is a red flag.
Okay.
That condition is a red
It's
flag.
a red flag.
Let him go.
Let him go. Let him or her.
Yes, let him or her go. Yes, I agree with you.
Reverend
Yes.
Afama.
So when we mentioned the issue of the abuse, I also want to add attempted abuse.
Okay.
Even that is a red flag.
Yeah.
Okay.
He lifted up his hand and said, you are lucky.
Stopped.
I normally put it this way. If you marry him, it will land.
The hand that is in the
Really?
air
Yes.
will definitely
Yes.
land.
He is the only one who knows the reason why he put his hand down. Maybe he knows that, oh, okay, you know he's close to pastor. You know he's this one. So
Yeah.
if I try it now, I don't change. When we get married.
So land.
If you go and visit her in the home and she disrespects the father,
It's a red
it's
flag.
a red flag. As for you as a man, she has already finished disrespecting you. You don't.
If
That
you
is the
can
father.
disrespect the father,
No.
yes, you are nothing.
You are nothing. The same way, if you can do same to his mother, you are nothing. No. And I like to use also these two examples. No, when you are in courtship with a young lady who loves money, it's a major red flag.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if she does not like money,
It's also a red
it's
flag.
also a red flag. So what it also means is that
We need to come to your factory, this marriage factory,
You know,
because now you're giving
now,
us
Bible
the,
makes us to understand. They say the love of money is the root
the
of all
root
evil.
of
So
all
it is
evil.
evil on its own.
Yeah.
You understand? Now, if she does not like money, no. So can you imagine they say the Mawutor does not like money? How would you be looking the way we are
ask
looking?
again.
You know,
No.
because liking money, everybody must like money.
Yeah.
You
That's
know,
what
you know.
even pushes you to want to do
Yeah.
better.
Do more,
and be
yes,
better.
do more. So,
Yeah.
so if they come, so as for me, I don't like money. It is either it is going to affect her dressing, it's going to affect your feeding, it's going to affect everything. No, and then you get to a place where the person wants to economize, but you realize that it brings hunger. You know, we can also put it this way, that the person must also have some understanding of money management.
Okay. Okay.
You know, so when there is a lack of those things too,
It's a red
important.
flag.
We can also look at upbringings.
Okay.
Some upbringings can be a source of red flag. By reason of the fact that he has seen the father do this.
There's a possibility.
There's a possibility in
mind.
mind. So when you are in courtship and you don't talk, you don't ask questions, you are not going to know that. Now, he grew up in a home where he saw the father beat the mother a number of times, you know, and then the mother left. So you are in courtship with this person, and then you know that the father and mother are not together. You know, so you ask him, so what happened? Oh, don't mind our mother. Our mother was too stubborn. You know, so how come? You know, our father was beating her. He said,
Tried to discipline her, but she wouldn't.
She wouldn't.
Yeah.
Then, so what do you people do? No, she should have listened to her father. You should know that guy will beat you. Obviously, you should know that guy will beat you.
The way they explain the issue.
The way they explain the issues.
You need to hear the thoughts of the person.
You know, so when you are in courtship and you only hear and you don't listen,
right,
you are going to also be making mistakes.
Okay.
So anything that the person says, behind that voice, there's a spirit. That's what you need to catch, so that you make it to understand, and then you can see that, you know, going forward, this. Okay, these ones are likely to happen. You know, and some of these courtship crises, do you know that some people, a young lady may have married a man, but she's actually not looking for a husband, but she's looking for a senior brother. You understand? Their upbringing. No, so if as a man you don't understand that this lady, this is what she's looking for, because even though both parents were at home, she was a girl behind like 3 boys, you know, and all of them took very good care of her. So that kind of lady, you don't just marry her, think that you're going to be the husband. So, and if you are not careful,
husband plus big brother.
Yeah, you have to husband plus big brother. And if you are not careful, you are just always insulting her. Why are you behaving childish? Well, that is how the brothers took care of her, plus her own father. You know, and all those kind. So some of these things that we don't look at, in fact, they are some of the foundations of courtship crisis.
Foundations of courtship crisis, which brings me right into, it's as if you are both in the spirit. You can tell my question before it comes, because really what I was going to ask as a follow-up was guidelines for courtship. You know, and wherever I come, you've already started when you need to listen, not just hear, and you need to look out for the red flags that you mentioned. Reverend Kote, let's add some more, because there are a lot of people now who are going through many back-to-back challenges in their relationships.
If you meet someone, or you are courting or dating, or you are in a relationship with someone who loves you more than he or she loves God, it's a big red flag.
Okay.
There is an emptiness in every human being that only God can satisfy.
Feel.
Yes. And so, if someone is not in love with God, the person has not given all to Christ. If you meet someone who has not fallen in love with Jesus Christ, and if you yourself, you've not fallen in love with Christ, it's a huge problem, because nobody can satisfy you.
Right.
Nothing can satisfy you. So if you want red flag, that is the first red flag you should give.
Wow.
In addition to that, the person talks against every person in the church, like the pastor, the pastor's wife, the WM executive, the ushers, all the Christian community people, leaders.
Everybody is wrong.
Everybody is wrong.
Okay.
Such a person is not satisfied in the Christian community. He's not in love with Christ. He finds himself possibly among Christians, but he himself doesn't see himself or herself as a Christian, and so part of the Christian community. So if you are part of it and there is a problem, we all look for the solution, because you are part of the family.
Right.
And you see that as they, when trouble comes, that's how the person is going to treat it. He would think that, oh, let's talk about our home and not about the Bible. Let's put the Bible aside and talk about this.
That's a problem.
And that is a major problem, confusing problem.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Now let's come to the guidelines, which was where we were going before Rev came in with this particular red flag. Guidelines to follow. So I mentioned earlier, clearly I saw about 3 or 2 in our conversations.
Okay.
Focus on building yourself, seeking knowledge about the other person, and look out for red flags. Now we've seen another huge one. Be sure that the person is in love with Christ or with God first.
Yes.
I need more guidelines for our listeners, because sometimes we are walking in blind and coming out blind. We are just hurt, but we can't even tell why we are hurt, So let's talk a little bit more about the guidelines, Reverend Akwamwa.
I think one of the major ones is communication.
Okay.
Because when you don't learn to ask questions during courtship, those questions that you did not ask may be what will be your challenge in marriage.
Okay.
Especially with the young ladies, any question that flashes your mind, ask. You'll be surprised that may be the root of your own deliverance. Don't, and also make sure that you don't assume. Remove the issues of assumption. You see something also, I'm sure it was because I did this, that's why he's also doing, he also did that.
You are assuming and making excuses for the other person.
For the other person. And you can tell that this person is in huge error. Now, and people should also not be, some of the guidelines when it comes to courtship is that don't be afraid to break a courtship.
Yeah.
And one of why people don't break courtship is that they are afraid of starting all over.
Yes.
So some people would say things like, we've been courting for the past 5 years. I would waste my 5 years
to go and start all over again.
Yeah.
That, my brother, my sister, that may be your only deliverance. It may be very painful. In fact, it will be very painful when you sit back and look at the amount of time that you've
invested into the relationship.
And then you want to, that may be your deliverance. And especially if you're a Christian, and you believe that if one door closes, another one opens. In fact, 7 other ones opens. Then you should know that God is always on your side. Now, believe one thing, that, every courtship built on the foundation of Scripture, opens a new door for you.
Okay.
You can see mistakes quickly. Where is an error, where things that must not happen and they are happening. You see red flags quickly and all those because per your relationship with God,
He would open your eyes to see things that ordinarily you would miss.
You will miss. So some of these guidelines also things like setting boundaries.
Okay.
I counsel a couple, and normally when you come, I'll ask you, have you known yourself sexually? I said, no. The way they responded, you realize that no. So I I asked them, so how do, and these people are very close. They said, oh, anytime he's having his Joseph moment, he knows what to do. That's what the lady said. And what is this Joseph moment? He comes to the lady's house, and then all of a sudden he realizes that no, something is doing. He doesn't tell the lady I'm going. Before he realizes he's gone.
He's gone.
And then the lady will go, what happened? Were you having your Joseph moment? Say, yes, okay, then we'll see tomorrow. And that those checks, these are some of the boundaries they put in place, and then they got married beautifully. It is important for us to also know that, one of the things that I have observed is that the way your courtship goes, it shows on your marriage day.
Right.
If you have messed up, it will show.
It will show.
If you have lived right, it will show. So when it comes to all these checks and doing those things, try and know yourself.
Try and know yourself.
Because you are going to marry your kind. Because in a relationship, the law of magnetism does not work. This one is like opposite attract.
Not opposite.
So you will marry who you are.
You will marry who you are.
So if you want to really set good boundaries, then build enough, like we said from the beginning, build enough capacity. Make yourself a wife material. You will have a husband material. And if you make yourself a husband material, you have a wife material.
Husband or wife material, 10 yards. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back shortly.
It's the Family Life Show. You're watching Bonds, the Family Life Show.
For every moment you need to be inspired.
You cannot be prayerfully alive, and Satan will get you easy.
Vision without action is an omission.
Raise your head high, for AGTV is here.
It's the Family Life Show. This is Bonds, the Family Life Show.
We are having an interesting conversation here, and I'm glad that you've joined us. If this is your first time joining us, you can Like, if you're watching on social media, say Facebook, Instagram, or on YouTube, you can share, share your experiences or comment on the conversation. We're talking about relationship crisis or courtship crisis. And we've been talking about what it is, how we can navigate our way through it. We're going to get to that in a bit. But for now, we've been talking about what to look out for, the red flags and the boundaries, the guidelines we should use to guide our relationships and our courtship. There is something that we need to really talk about in moving on, right? The idea of cohabitation. In talking about the boundaries, that seems to be something we really need to tackle. There are people who are living with people they are not married with. They're Christians, or at least they claim to be Christians. We need to talk about our take on that matter in moving forward. Reverend Kote.
Yes. In our day, it's a major problem.
Okay.
We will be shocked if we investigate in our churches the number of people that are cohabiting. They claim accommodation is now high. So if this person have to hire and I'll have to hire, why won't we stay together and then keep some for cost? Even on our campuses, people are cohabiting. Our children are cohabiting, some, because the hostel fee. So they agree, they put the money together, they hire one place and they live as husband and wife on our campuses.
If you ask, they will tell you they're not living as husband and wife.
They are cohabiting. And so when you cohabit, you have sex. In fact, one of the things that drives us even to want to plan and prepare and make money and put things in place is the desire even to have sex with the person. The
attraction to the other person.
The attraction. And so if I know everything in it, there is no driving force again. So if you cohabit with somebody, the person gets fed up with you easily. Because
it may also probably lead to people who've been in relationships for years on end.
Nothing.
And it's never leading anywhere.
Yes. Anytime he wants sex or she wants sex,
you are available.
And then after that, you feel guilty. And when you feel guilty, you blame the other person for putting you into this state. I was very spiritual before I met you. That is the mind.
What happened?
I was very holy before I met you. So now I feel dirty, then you are the cause. And that is why sometimes it doesn't lead into marriage. And so cohabitation, the parents should look at it. We should look at it holistically.
Right.
Parents have a role. The church has a role
to play.
Even the couple involved, the youth, they also have a role to play. We need to look at all this holistically and deal with it. If the parent fail, we have all failed. If the pastors feel as if it's nothing, why they will marry, if the pastors water down it, we are not going anywhere. And if the people involved also water it down. So let's go back to the Bible. What is the Bible saying? Can two walk together except they agree? Can you carry fire on your chest without it burning you?
No.
Can you stay together without having sex? I met a couple who said, even though they are cohabiting, they are not having sex. I told them that, I know you are telling lies. And even if it's true, it's also a red flag for you to stay
because
with the person.
You're not sexually attracted to the other person.
Yeah. And so you marry the person, it's like you are living with your mother or your sister.
I think that's a revelation we need to repeat.
Yes.
So if you're cohabiting, there is a high likelihood you will be intimate with the other person. If that is not happening, it's a red flag.
Red flag.
Oh. So don't cohabit. That's the agreement.
No.
As Christians,
you shouldn't.
It's a no-no. So both of you are pastoring churches. So let me bring it home to you. Okay. If you do find out that a member of yours or two members of yours is cohabiting with somebody else, what's the safest action to take, Reverend Akwama?
For me, I think that the safest action, number one, is to call both of them.
Okay.
And then open the Bible. Don't just speak from your head. There is a way that when you counsel with the word of God, it sinks.
Okay.
So this one is not pastor just telling us.
No.
No, this
Bible
is what
says.
the word says.
Right.
So then you encourage them. Number two, where you can help give maybe another person a source of accommodation.
Okay.
we need to do that.
Because genuinely, some may have issues
Yes.
that may lead them into cohabiting.
Let's say that they met in school in Kumasi. You understand? And then the guy is in Tema. And then the lady gets a job
Okay.
and comes to Tema. You understand?
Yeah.
They were in the same church, blah, blah, and all those kinds. So they are still in the same church. You know? So, okay, since you are going to get married, my house is there.
Yeah.
Come in. And they have been there. Nothing. They will say nothing is happening because pregnancy has not taken place.
There's no evidence.
You know. So I think that one of the things that we would do is just to encourage, speak truth to them.
Yeah.
I don't like, for me, that's what I do. I speak truth to you. You know, even when you come to me that you are divorcee and want to marry and all this, I speak truth to you and I allow you to make your own decision. Yeah. But with the issue of the people in church, counsel them. Let them know the truth. If at the end of the day, just decide to do what they want, you know, because whether you like it or not, after you have finished speaking,
People will still do what
people
they want.
still do what they want. You
Right.
know? So whether they decide to do what they want, when the consequences come, number one, you have vindicated. Number two, you can also speak anyhow, knowing that I told you about this thing.
I did my part.
I did my part. You know. Yeah, I will quote Deuteronomy 13:19. I called heaven and earth to record this day against you. I told you the truth.
I really need to hear your take on this one.
You see,
He is calling heaven and earth as witnesses to
Yes.
this matter.
So what you have to do, fortunately, Sunday school
Okay.
department deals with all this. Our Sunday school
creates the
lessons.
avenue.
About 2 weeks, last week, and all.
We've been talking
so
about
you,
this,
as a pastor, you should also hammer it. And then if you get to know that these two people, call them and then ask. Even if they say no, still do your investigations.
Okay.
And I've had a lot in my
Oh.
in my church. And I had to call them. There are some I needed to support, especially those who have had children who are 20 years and above. Sometimes you have to even support them with what they wear and things, just to encourage them. But the younger ones, some will say, if you are insisting we separate, I'm leaving the church. I've had a case of someone leaving,
The church.
in fact, 2 people.
Oh.
And I don't feel bad about it. If it's
You
because
support
of the
what
word of
Reverend
God,
says. You have to
yes,
speak the truth.
this is the word of God. If because of the word of God you go, we can't say because we want numbers. We want numbers who are going to heaven, not and you know, when you don't talk about it, the younger youth, they admire the elderly youth,
Yeah.
and they admire what they do.
So they
So
will
if you
follow
don't,
in
they
their
will be
steps.
following their footsteps, and then we will all be at risk. I always tell them, church, the Acts of Apostles, they left an example for us. It is our turn to leave an example for the next generation. If we fail the next generation, we have failed God. And so we have a responsibility to hold on to the faith.
Right, right. Now, let's talk about intimacy in courtship or relationships.
Yeah.
We've mentioned it a couple of times. If there is none, it's a red flag.
Yeah.
If you're together, there's bound to be one.
Yeah.
In today's world, in today's modern, among our youth of today, it's quite normal, in quotes, to be sexually intimate with somebody you intend to marry. Many times, even not somebody you intend to marry, just somebody you find attractive. But most often than not, you find that people who are in courtship or relationship towards marriage would say that it's quite okay and normal. And I must say, sometimes it's the movies we are watching, the songs we are listening to. There are so many things that are speaking into that narrative. But let's come to our Christian fraternity. We hear the pastors preach against it severally. Why do we still have that perception persisting in the church? Arankote.
Yes, it's a very worrying
Trend.
thing. Yes. And you know, there are some pastors, unfortunately, if you're a pastor of a church, you are not their only pastor. They have other pastors.
Okay.
Pastors on social media, you know, and so they want to tilt to those who seem to
Agree with what they do.
Yes. So I personally have heard a pastor say that we should test before you.
Test the waters.
Yes, whether you are compatible sexually. I heard with my ears and I was like, wow, what is this?
Yeah.
So if this church member hears this, and now you, the pastor, you are saying that it's a no. They don't care what the Bible is saying. But do you know, sometimes my church people tease me that, monopause. Monopause pastor. She's a mono. I said, no, this is not monopause. Let's read it together. And so that is where we have the problem now. People think that we should do what all other people are doing. Peer pressure is affecting the church now. And so that is why a lot of people, in fact, everywhere you go to give a talk, question time, somebody will ask, what about if the man, you go and the man is impotent? What about if you go and then you are not sexually compatible? And all these questions, all because they're already doing it and they want you to stand for them.
To validate it.
Validate it. Sex is a skill. And so whether you enjoy it or not depends on how you develop the skill. It doesn't even matter about the size of the sexual organs.
Okay.
It's a skill.
And you need to learn it.
You
go
need
to the
to
marriage
learn
factory.
Develop it and learn how to, And so whether you even have sex with 100 ladies before you get married, you will still have to develop the skill of
with that specific person that you marry eventually.
Good. And so these are some of the things. Last Sunday in my church, I asked the youth, 15-year-old boy, I went to him and asked, do you wake up with an erection? He said, yes. Because I've taught them, if by age 12, age 10, you do not wake up with an erection, there's something wrong with you. And so the fact that you have an erection does not mean you're alone. They think they're alone. And nobody knows how they feel. Their mothers don't understand them. And so they find ways of satisfying themselves. So let the church also, let's allow ourselves to talk about these things.
And be honest about them.
And be honest about it.
Be honest about them. Reverend Akwama, back to the matter of it seems to get worse the more we say it, the more we talk about it. Your pick on it.
I would want to put it this way. I think it is in the how.
Okay. How we are saying it.
How we are saying it.
Okay.
Because just like we know, sex is heavily spiritual. It is a covenant. It is a practice that involves blood. It is just like going to the shrine with blood every time. And every time you go to the shrine and pour blood, a covenant is established.
Right.
So most of the people in the church who have engaged inside these things and they continue to do it, not because they just want to continue to do it, but the covenant that they have been established is always calling for blood.
To it.
It's always calling for blood. It's not an issue of as for me, I'm a man, so me I can stand. No. You know what the Bible says? It says, take heed. Let him who thinks he stand take heed. Lest he fall. You understand? So there's nobody who is that powerful.
Yeah.
When we look at, unfortunately, certain men of God or women of God who are falling because of sex, not because they wanted to. No, not because some people it's just a little spark of something, and then before you realize, So now, young people who are getting themselves into this thing, let us note one thing. Just like Mama Regina said, there's nobody who says that he's carrying fire on his
and
bosom.
It will not burn.
And then people will start with, they say he's your Christian brother, so give a holy kiss.
No.
And then we begin to hammer. You see, when we begin to hammer those things and then begin to create, how do we call it, religion out of certain scriptures, it creates all this confusion, because if you have said that fornication is wrong, and anytime you engage in this sexual activity in courtship and all, you also compound the spirits. You begin to collect. So when you get married and you are even lying on the bed, it is not you alone. The other spirits are also there. And then you don't understand why certain things keep happening in your marriage. Why? Because I read from one book I have in my office. These people, they were both virgins. And then immediately they got engaged. They decided, well, now that we're engaged, that was how the girl became epileptical.
Oh my God.
Yes. Immediately they got married, they realized that she was epileptic. And there's no trace. The father and the mother, nobody has seen her like that before. Until they went for a deliverance program. and then it came up. You know, she had a seizure twice.
Wow.
So the last time when she woke up, she shouted, "Hey, thank God I am delivered." So the pastor asked, "How do you know?" He said, "Normally, when I get these seizures, I have to be locked in a dark room for 4 days before I come out."
That's a serious one.
No, and as they were ministering to them in Tracy, they realized that that was the very day it came up. We need to come to the place to understand that wherever place we come from, there's always something in our homes. There's some. Everybody has something, you know. So by the time all these spirits begin to gather, they begin to form certain things, and then before you realize, you don't know the reason why somebody will be in his marriage, wake up in the morning and say, "I'm going."
Yeah.
Yes, I'm going.
Nothing happened.
Nothing happened.
There's no genesis.
There's
to
no
it.
genesis. Nothing.
Yeah.
He said, "I'm going." They beg, you know. So why are you going? I'm just going. Why? Because there are some spiritual
There is a
influences.
spiritual influence behind everything we
Everything
do.
that we do.
And sex opens that door
that door.
for that. So we should be careful. In courtship, sex is a no-no. Intimacy of any kind. So when we come up, maybe we should talk about, do you mean of any kind? Hugging, kissing, cuddling? Are they all no-nos? We'll be back shortly. You don't want to go anywhere.
It's the Family Life Show. You're watching Bonds, the Family Life Show.
For every moment you need to be inspired.
You cannot be prayerfully alive, and Satan will get you busy.
Vision without action is an omission.
Raise your head high, for AGTV is here.
It's the Family Life Show. This is Bonds, the Family Life Show.
Welcome back. It's been an interesting show so far. We're talking about courtship crisis before you say I do. If for nothing else, we've acknowledged and, you know, agreed on the fact that courtship is after you've agreed to get married, that period. And there are some things we can and cannot do. Intimacy and sex is one of the no-nos that has been established. Cohabiting is a no-no as well. Now, before we continue with the conversation, if you would like to sponsor the show, send us a message. You can also call the WhatsApp number on your screen and we'll get talking. This is definitely something that everybody needs to keep hearing about. So stay with us. Let's continue the conversation. Before the break, we talked about intimacy not being in the picture at all. If you're a Christian and you're courting or you're in a relationship, getting prepared for marriage because of the spiritual nature of sex. And I was going to ask, is everything connected to sex a no-no? Can we at least do some things and not do others? I'm talking about the hugging, the kissing, the cuddling. Are there some that are okay or they are all no, no, no? Mami, I'm going to come to you first.
Okay, thank you. You realize that if you don't want to sing, you don't blow a whistle.
Okay.
If you don't want to dance, you don't start tapping your feet. And so if you really don't want to have sex, don't start with kissing. Don't, because these are the things that arouses.
Lead up to.
Yes. And if you allow yourself to be aroused to a point, there's a point where we call the point of no return.
You cannot say
You
no
can't
at
say
that point.
yes. Even if the other person says no, you beg the person to do it because you've allowed yourself to be aroused to the point of no return.
Okay.
So if you don't want to do it and you want to keep your sanctity, your virginity, then there's nothing like kissing. The students will ask, we have different types of kissing. Whichever type of kissing will lead to something else.
Especially if it is somebody you are attracted to.
Two already.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you can avoid things like hugging, kissing, and all those little things that we all know. Because in arousing someone, you start from the less sensitive areas.
Okay.
Then you gradually move to the more sensitive. So if you don't want the person to get to the more sensitive areas, that can
Don't
lead
start.
to the ultimate. Don't start it at all.
Don't start.
After all, that is why honeymoons are there. After marriage, now we start all these things. And then the joy of now getting to know yourselves.
And discovering each
Yes.
other.
In fact, that is why we even put on the veil. That is the history behind the veil. It means I don't know her. Then I remove. Now I know. Now I'm going to know her. But if you finish knowing her, why do you even put on the veil?
The veil is so that the rest of the people who are there will not know her until you are.
When you have already known.
So yeah, so if you don't want to,
don't start
it.
Don't start. Reverend, I'm guessing you're going to agree with that.
Yeah, so I very much agree with that. I was looking at this verse, Proverbs chapter 6, verse 27.
Okay.
Trying to get different translation, but they all means they say, can a man take fire in his bosom and his cloth
will not
be burned?
Wow.
Is the question.
That's exactly the question Mama Regina asked not too long ago.
Can one go up upon hot coals and his feet not be burned? There is always a starting point.
Yeah.
There is always a starting point. So, just like Mama Regina said, avoid it at all costs. Number two, somebody say, how do we avoid it? Stop meeting in ungodly places at ungodly times. Yeah, because, let me also add this one. When you don't have anything to say, when you meet,
that's also a problem.
That's also a problem.
That's a big red flag.
Yes. When you don't have anything to say when you meet, it's a major. The next thing is that, your lips are nice.
The necessary one start.
So, which part of my lips? And then before you realize the conversation is entering the conversation is entering into some place and all those kind of things. Oh, you ate it is there. Let me clean it for you. And he may wipe it in a way that before you realize.
Yeah.
So it will be difficult. That's the truth, because we are human beings. It will be difficult. But if we watch our boundaries very well, we can sustain ourselves and then move away from it.
We can.
It's very possible. A lot of people have married at virgins. So you too, you can abstain.
I love the way Mama Regina brought in the fact that sex is a skill. Even those who've had it severally before marriage still need to hone that skill and still need to be able to learn to please their partner. So there's nowhere where we can say that because we have sex before marriage, we now know how to please the other person perfectly.
In fact, you do know that sex before marriage introduces broken trust.
Yes.
Okay.
Especially if it took me a long time of forcing you, and then finally you give in. That man will never trust you.
Wow.
That's the truth. That man will.
It means anybody else could also persuade
you going
into doing something.
No.
And vice versa.
Yes, and vice versa. That kind of thing. So at all costs, it will be difficult to abstain. That's the truth. But you see, where we say we are Christians, the things that we need to engage to abstain is one of them. One, wisdom.
Wow.
That's it. Because
the
you know
word
that
of God,
anytime the two of you are in some place together, even including church, that you are sitting together, there is a way that you can be sitting close to somebody you are interested in, that you, no matter how powerful the pastor is preaching,
you can't hear anything. You're feeling some kind of way. Yeah.
And then here's the case: the two of you in the room. If you love yourself, you must abstain and then keep with strong. I remember when we were going to get married, especially in my first marriage, with my late wife, and we went in. Those are you going one after the other. We went in. She went in first, and then she came out, and the pastor asked, "Have you known her sexually?" I said no. And he said, "What if I tell you that she said yes?" I said, "Well, then I don't know who she did it with." When you have not done it, you are confident.
Yes, you are very confident.
He
understand. Caught you.
Yes. I said, I don't know. Then the pastor laughed. So it's not because one is superhuman being. Discipline. But we were very close. I said that people even thought that, we have finished ourselves a long time. No.
Okay.
But discipline is also very important. And even that closeness too had its own challenges. Yes, it had its own challenges. So no matter how close, you wouldn't know what would trigger the thing. See, this devil is a bad guy.
He's just always looking for us.
You just whisper something in your head, and then before you realize, you have messed yourself up. So abstinence is difficult, but it's key.
Guys, you heard that. It's difficult. So we are not pretending that it's an easy, breezy kind of thing. And the fact that you're in church alone is not enough to keep you. You need to self-discipline yourself. Good. And don't create the space and the environment where you can easily fall. So people, it's doable. So let's confidently attempt it, and with God's grace we should be able to make it happen. Now, we've talked about the fact that not all relationships or courtships must result in marriage. And we've talked about the crisis things that, elements of crisis that could come in and all of that one. Assuming we face crisis in the relationship and we decide to opt out, or one decides to opt out, how can we handle this in a way that does not breed hatred, bitterness, and heartbreak? Mama Regina.
Yes. And when there is such a case arises, you bring the people before you and ask if they want to go on or separate. Yes.
Okay.
What is the cause? What are the issues?
Okay.
If they bring them out, you get to know, and then they decide to break up. You help them to break up. First, is there something you have with this person that you surely need it back?
That's an important one.
Yes, because sometimes you say you are breaking with me, yet the things we bought for the traditional marriage, they are with you.
And it was my money that was used to buy them.
And we've had cases like that.
Okay.
So we have to talk about some of these things. Some people said they started buying plates and kitchen things so that when they get married, it will not be difficult for them. And they were with the lady. And the lady had broken up with him.
I want my things back.
Then it's a problem. So the church, the leadership, we had to talk to the lady. If I talk to her parents.
Okay.
And so they finally brought it and we gave it. The guy was at Kumasi, so we gave the things to VIP to send it.
Okay.
And asked whether he's okay. He was okay. So that is how. Then we pray. After everything, pray with them.
Okay.
And then if someone is brokenhearted, someone is discouraged, stressed up, the pastor, you still have the responsibility to help the person, encourage the person, call the person, and let them get out of it. Because whatever it is, when there is a breakup, there is a level of brokenheartedness.
Yeah, we can't run away from that either.
And we should avail ourselves to give them the support
that they need.
And that is okay. With time and with prayer, by the grace of God, they get things right.
Right. That is from the pastor or the church's perspective.
Yes.
Now, I'm coming to the individuals involved in the relationship. So, say the two of us are going out and we are courting. We've been courting, say, for 2 or 3 years, or even 7 years. There are cases like that.
Yeah.
And suddenly, maybe because of one red flag or the other, I decide to opt out. How do I do it in a way that would still show that I love you as a person? I just don't love this relationship enough to want to enter into marriage with you. That would not bring this bitterness and hatred that sometimes results after a breakup. Rev.
I think it should begin with being sincere with ourselves.
Okay.
Especially if I'm the one who is initiating it. Number one, let me be sincere with myself that this thing that I'm doing is not because my feet is on another stone. No, but I'm doing this thing because I have seen and I realize that no, this thing will not help us. No, when we are friends,
it's better.
It's better. So you sit down and analyze it for yourself first, and then you call the other person.
Okay.
I want to tell you about something. It may be difficult, but this is what I've sat down and thought about it, and I want you to just take your time and listen to me. When I finish speaking, if you have any other thing to say, you may say. But when you interrupt, it may not help.
Okay.
So this and this and this and then this is what I have seen. Throughout all this time. Can you imagine that we are in the relationship for 7 years, but it took 5 years before you first gave me a first gift. And these are things that I've been looking at, and if it's like this, it's part of the issue. If it's like this, then how would marriage be like? And you give your instances, you give your examples, and then the reason why you think it will not be good for you.
To be married to the person.
To be married to the person. And then also for the person to know that, you see, as I am coming to this marriage, I want to make sure that I trust you completely. I can submit to you completely. But I have these issues. And I don't think it will be fair for me to do that thing to you. So when I look at it, I think we'll be good friends. But as to whether we would be good married partners,
I don't think so. I don't think so.
So I want you to think about it.
Okay.
I'll prefer you not give me an answer now. Think about it, and let's make time and see, Pastor.
That's a good one.
That's very good.
Which also means that before that day would have come, you would have committed yourselves and that relationship maybe into the hands of an older person, or a
yes.
pastor, a spiritual person, so that you can easily go to that person and talk to them about issues that you're having. And I want us to establish that that's not to say don't fight for the relationship first.
That is true.
So it's not at the first sign of crisis that you jump out necessarily, but having worked on it several times, if it's not working.
That is why you would need to talk.
We need to talk.
We need to talk.
We need to talk.
So the slightest thing, you talk about it. You talk about it. And then by the time you are talking about it, you realize that this person is still repeating this thing. Then you have grounds
to say that I may want to opt out. Reverend, let me take your thoughts on this before we come to the end.
Yes, I think that if there's respect between the two of you, even in breaking up, there should be respect.
Okay.
You don't need to call someone when the person has an exam. The person is writing an exam and tell the person we are breaking up.
You should be considerate.
Considerate. Look at the time. The person has lost the mother. And then that time you are telling the person that you are breaking up. So you need to look at the timing too. And then respect the person's feelings so that you give the person time to reflect over it. If you have decided, but it's very likely the person will come back begging. Oh, is it because of gifts? I'll start giving you a gift.
Yeah.
Oh, is it because of... But you see, you've maybe come to a point to realize that
it won't work no matter what the person does.
You have lost that for the person. And so you insist and then encourage the person to. You see, it will be a good stepping stone for the other person.
Right.
I've seen someone who didn't know all this about himself. But after the breakup, he also acknowledged that what the lady was saying was true. So he now worked on himself, preparing that the next person will not suffer like the other person.
So person did.
Yes, because we are all Christians, we help ourselves. The fact that you are breaking with the person does not mean you want the person to go to hell. So you can identify the things so the person will work on them. You see, Romans 8:28 says, all things work together for our good.
That's it.
Including breakups. Including breakups.
No matter how painful, no matter
it is.
how
so if we
painful
have this, it will help us to break up
Thank you,
easily.
thank you. It's when the conversation is getting more interesting that our time catches up with us. All too soon, we've come to the end of the show. And I want to say a special thank you to you for making time to be here with me today, Reverend Akwamwa. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Thank you for having me.
And Reverend Kote, thank you so much, Mama Regina, for being here with me. You've given us so much insight into this whole affair, and we just want to say God bless you for making time. And for you, those who watched and listened, I have one last question. I think I may have to leave that one with you so that we can continue this conversation. There's never an end to any of the things we talk about once it has to do with life. During the courtship period, for example, if there should be an accident or something bad happens and one partner becomes bedridden, is it a ground to walk out, or can you still continue fighting for that relationship? It's a personal thing. I want you to talk about it and share your comments and your views with us. Now, courtship isn't meant to be a battlefield of confusion. It's meant to be a season of clarity, of growth, and godly direction. So as we've seen today, the key is keeping God at the center and approaching love with wisdom, not just emotion. Be logical about some of the things that you do. And thank you for joining us. May your steps towards love be ordered, intentional, and filled with the peace of God before you say, I do. My name is Mawutor Seade.